Hey everybody, welcome into Tree of Life Oracles. I have been called for the past couple days to do another reading for this Lionsgate portal for tomorrow. I'm actually pulling these cards and doing the reading on Monday, but it is expressly for the portal tomorrow. I know I did the big pick a card like 10 days ago, just in preparation for it. But tomorrow is when the portal is blown wide open energetically. And Sirius and the sun will be in equal positions. So there's information that wants to come in for you guys. So this is going to be a little bit of a limited pick a card, just kind of a tiny one, but hopefully it'll give you some additional messages. There's some messages that want to come in for you guys. And I want to be able to bring those to you. So I'm going to get ready to pull. Let's see. We're going to start out just with some of the wild unknown elements, or the alchemy. I'm sorry, not the elements, the alchemy. And let's just see which, we'll use these as our three big groups, and then we'll go from there, okay? All right, so they're telling me they want me to do this like this today. And we're gonna take the one off the top, all right? So just make sure I have one, that's the center. It's the right pile. I'm gonna slide these out of the way. And the left pile. All right. Okay, let's see what we've got for pile number one. We have spring. Love that tree. All right, so the tree, or I'm sorry, spring. And then for pile two, oops, we have Pluto. And for pile three, we have silver. I'm actually going to turn that, yeah, so that they're all pointed in the same direction. Okay, so spring, Pluto, and silver. I'm going to pull some charms. We'll just put, I'm just going to take one for each. All right, so for spring, this is really tiny. We have a little tiny copper howling wolf. Put it right there. For Pluto, we have Hello Kitty and a cowboy hat. I'm already picking up some stuff with that. And then for silver, well, we have the sun. Okay. I'm just going to put the sun in the center of the moon on that card. Okay. Alrighty. So I'm going to give you a minute. You can pause the video and really sort of take some breaths, calm your thoughts, and identify, if you don't already know which one is speaking to you, identify which one you want to go with. You may be drawn to more than one, and that's okay. These are going to be quicker, and they're going to be really focused on what messages are coming to you. Not so much looking at outcomes or events, but what messages are coming to you from your spirit team, the universe, the Earth Mother. You can pick, okay? All right, and so we will move on with the first reading. Please understand these are general readings. Take what resonates. Let the rest go. If you start moving into a reading and realize it doesn't sound right, it doesn't feel right, it's not your reading. Move on to something else, okay? And I hope that these will give you the messages that you need from Spirit, okay? Here we go. Hey, group one, you chose spring and the howling wolf. All right, we're going to start out with just the energies, messages of energy that are coming in for you. This is the Chakra Wisdom Oracle. So, Spirit, let's have what this group needs. The first one that we have is insecurity. And the second, and we have release. And that is a message right there in itself, releasing. It's time to release insecurity. But let's get some more information. All right, so just starting with this, your team is telling me that part of the thing, even though this shows a heart for sure, just those lines that are pushing at it reminds me an awful lot of that Three of Swords card in the tarot. And with Three of Swords, even though we tend to call it heartache or heartbreak, or it's really about overthinking. And so there's something that you've been pushing over and over and over and over, something related to something that you loved or were emotionally attached to, whether it's a relationship, a person, a pet, could even be just a, it could be a job, it could be an activity, something that you had great emotional attachment to has floundered in recent months, or maybe it's been longer than recent months. But what's happened is that just constantly overthinking it in your mind, overthinking it, letting it ruminate over and over and again, has really made you feel super insecure about who you are as a person and what it is that you really want to do with your life going forward. And your guides are coming through and saying, the insecurity, it is like having this little devil on your shoulder. It just eats away and eats away and eats away at your sense of self, at your confidence, at your sense of knowingness. This little guy just constantly eats at it because you just keep ruminating over and over and playing by playing. You're doing the play by play again and again and again. And the card of release is really about learning to let all that go, being okay to let that all go. And with the spring card in the howling wolf, the thing with wolves is that the howl that they make it's a sound location to communicate with each other, within their pack or with other packs. But it's also sometimes something they'll do with, just to begin the day or the evening, is that they will, if they're communicating their awareness of the day, communicating with the Earth Mother, communicating even with, with people that they may be aware of, or with other animals that they're aware of. It's a greeting, and it's a message of sending their voices into the day. Now, that's going to sound a little, that's probably going to sound a little woo for people, but when you're dealing with totem spirits, and that's precisely what this one is. When you're dealing with totem spirits, that is a being, they are very, wolves are very woven into the energies of the Earth Mother. And as a pack, they have a very set structure. They are they're very intuitive beings in terms of understanding the world around them and their world. They have very specific social structures. The alpha, there's always this view that the alpha wolf, the alpha male, is, believe it or not, the alpha is not always a male. But there's this idea that the alpha is, everybody bows down. You see it in movies over and over again when you're dealing with shapeshifters or things like that, where it's, everybody has to bow down in subservience to the alpha male. What's actually truthful in wolves in general is that the alpha male, or the alpha, whoever the alpha is, actually doesn't lead forward all the times. A lot of times they'll move to the back of the pack because the older wolves and the younger wolves are at the back of the pack as they're moving from place to place. And they'll actually move to the back as a protector of them, to look out for them and to keep them safe as they're moving forward, and then allow some of the other adult wolves to lead forward. And so it's very much It's very much an energy of interrelatedness. They're not just a hierarchical structure in their pack where there's one on top and then there's rungs of the ladder going down, and that's often misportrayed. The reason that's important is because wolves are associated with teachers, with being great teachers. They have great wisdom and associated with the ability to teach others. And that's coming out for me in this. There's something that you need to learn. Your spirit guides are trying to teach you this through the message of the wolf and also through the renewal of spring, that you have the ability to let this stuff go, that your past doesn't serve you, but to let it go and to move into the future without looking backwards. There's something better for you coming in, a better way of being, a better way of thinking, of feeling, of knowing yourself. And your guides really want you to know that they're with you and they have your back. They're not higher in the heavens. And again, we tend to think, if we think of angels or we think of more advanced beings, whether they be star beings or interdimensional beings or however you want to phrase it in your own mind, right? We tend to think of them as being on a higher plane than we are. But the reality is we're all on the same plane. And they want to make sure you understand that they're not there to tell you what to do to move you forward. They'll help point you in the right direction and give you that feedback. But when you get to points where you feel like you're in danger or you feel like that you're struggling, they're going to move to the rear of the pack where you are as a struggler, and they're going to help protect you from there. And that's a really important message. They really want you to understand that message, that you're protected. And it's so difficult to appreciate that or to believe that when it's not always tangible. But it can be tangible. You just have to see your way through. And it's just like looking at this card of spring with the tree and understanding that even though winter comes and everything dies down, it immediately rebounds. So when one door closes, another one opens. The breeze from it opens another. And that's also part of this message coming through to you. All right, they want me to show you, I've got the pocket spirit animal from the Wild Unknown. They want you to understand what other beings are coming through for you, okay? We have the earthworm. What else? What other energies? What energies do you guys want you to have? And the sea serpent. Okay, so what's really important that I'm starting to see, do you notice the circles, all the circles that are coming through? And the circles are part of that future. Remember, circles, it's closing the loop, and circles are eternal. You know, we get caught up, we tend to think as humans that everything is linear because we tend to look at life as linear. But the reality is that it isn't linear. We're everywhere all at once. And that's a big, profound thing to say. But this is about closing the circle to wholeness and finding wholeness. And it's about moving forward, rolling forward. Moving forward. I love in the earthworm that it's got all this grayness around, but then as the earthworm starts to move in a different direction, even though he's kind of creating a knot, or what feels like a knot, He knows what he's doing. He knows which way he's going. And you see all these beautiful rainbow colors, just like the tree in the background. And likewise with the sea serpent, this is the Ouroboros. That's the snake eating its tail. An ancient symbol of wisdom, spiritual wisdom that moves forth. And it's a completion of cycles and an understanding that every time a cycle is completed, it moves us into a new cycle. And you notice with that, there's like the all-seeing eye that's in the center of the sea serpent. It becomes an eye. It helps you see more clearly what's before you. But you've got to release all of these negative feelings and the insecurities. I'm looking at the book here in terms of the earthworm, and it says when the earthworm is out of balance, then that produces being self-conscious and apprehension for moving forward. And in order to bring into balance, you have to speak up and risk your embarrassment to do that. And that comes with that insecurity, right? It comes with the insecurity. And let's look at the same with the sea serpent. So the sea serpent is, it says the subtle energy of the sea serpent occupies sorry, I don't have my reading glasses on. Oh, okay. It's talking about basically it occupies the sacral chakra, right? And the chakra is known as our center of creativity and desire, and it's associated with water because that's emotional. This home is the chakra of the Divine Mother, and it's the initiator of the Kundalini energy itself within us. So you're really being guided to move forward and understand that your creativity and that your confidence and your self-expression and achieving your desires and your goals, all of that stuff is just beginning for you. You've got to push the past away, release it, and let it go. All right, let's see what message is coming in from your higher self. This is the higher self oracle. Okay. So we have nature. Get out in nature. Actually, they want me to move that over here. Get out in nature. Really tap into these energies. And strength. And this strength is the lotus, understanding that your intuition, that your sense of knowingness is so much more powerful than what you think or what you believe. And I think it really does come down to not so much what we think, but what we believe. Okay, I'm going to use the Tarot of the Owls just to give us a little additional information about this. Can we talk more about the King of Cups? This is really talking about replacing this devil energy in your heart, this insecurity, with love. It's about the vibration of love. It's the only way we're going to change ourselves and the world for the better is if we really go forth and vibrate in the frequency of love. And that doesn't, I'm not talking about just romantic love. I'm talking about this idea of agape or divine love or the universal love. It is, while we tend to associate it as an emotion, it is a frequency. It is a vibrational frequency. And we need to find that. And we also have with this the Fool. This is your new beginning, guys. This is the new beginning. Your guides want you to know. It's really just about taking a step forward. All right, and finally, just as a final message, you're starting the new beginning. Do it with love. You are a loving being. You have mastery of love in your heart. It's something that we all have It's inherent within us as divine beings. We're all divine beings. We just don't believe it because we've been taught not to. So your guides say, remember who you are. Remember who you are. Your new beginning lies in who you are within your soul. All right, let's get one final message using the Oracle of Light Activate, or the Star Gathering, okay? This says the stars are aligned, remembering home and your soul family. This is about your people coming in. If you haven't felt like you belonged with your people, with your pack, okay? They're coming in, and they're coming in at a much faster rate than they have before. Your guides want you to know that they're going to come in vibrating at the same frequency that you are, of love. And that's where the power comes. It's everybody pulling together on the earth. But it starts with each one of us. Okay? We have to have it. We can't bring the vibration of love to this earth and transcend it into the Aquarian energies unless we have it within ourselves. And we have to make a concerted effort to get rid of whatever these negative thought forms are, the negative self-talk, the insecurity, the lack of confidence. And I know that you're saying, because I've said it before too, well, I don't know how to do it. Well, I don't want to be insecure, but a lot of it is just allowing those negative thought forms, this little devil, and in the first place, in your, within your mind. They want you to know, first and foremost, meditate, be in nature, take pause, understand, ground with the earth, feel her energies. Take 10 minutes a day. Doesn't matter what time of day. Take 10 minutes a day to breathe. And I'll say it again, I've said it before, to listen to the wind, to understand what the divine is telling you. If it's being in nature for a walk, if it's hanging out with your fur kids, if it's painting, if it's singing, listening to music, closing your eyes and going within, all of those creative endeavors that you have, that you do, that you enjoy, that's where additional messages are coming from. That's where the vibration of love is coming from. Receive it, allow it in, and release this stuff from the past. All these negative thought forms. I'm also getting a message that for some of you, you need to turn off the TV. You need to turn off the news. You need to turn off the messaging that you keep getting from others that doesn't help this process for you. Just release it and let it go. Find that power within you, and not only will you transform, and you will have your happiness, your joy, your abundance, the beautiful life. You'll be creative, you'll be inspired. I mean, isn't that what we all want, right? You'll have all of that, and you're going to bring it to the world, and then it'll catch on like wildfire. And before you know it, everybody around you is way more positive than negative. And then your society is way more positive than negative. And then the earth, the peoples of the earth are way more positive than negative. I know it sounds like a Pollyanna message, but I'm just delivering what they're telling me. Group one, I hope that this inspires you to let go of the negative thought forms. Let it go. Don't pay it any mind anymore. Really focus on the positive. That's your challenge for the week and the month, is when you get into a situation, instead of immediately jumping to the negative conclusion or the negative part of it, jump to the positive instead. Reframe it and find the positive. And that's your ticket to the vibration of love. That is your rebirth of spring right there. You keep doing it, and by spring, your life will be much different than it is today. I hope these messages were helpful. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you to your guides for sharing the messages. Have a beautiful month and enjoy these energies of the portal. They are transformative. Bye-bye. Hey, Group 2, welcome in to your reading. You selected the card Pluto and the Hello Kitty wearing a cowboy hat. The first thing I want to start out with is this Plutonian energy. Plutonian energy is, Pluto's often associated with the underworld. And that doesn't mean hell. Let's move our minds a little more esoterically than that, okay? It's really about depth. And Pluto is really brings in power. It is your personal power. It is the depth of power within you. And that power amplifies what you do with it. So if you're using that power in ways that are beneficial to yourself and to others, in ways that are positive, that are inspired, kind of like Hello Kitty and the cowboy hat, because that's just cute, right? That's just fun. If you do that, then that power, Pluto will amplify that power tenfold. If you get caught up in things that are addictive and sort of the undercurrents, things that might be negative, things that might be, like I said, addictive or stuff like that, it'll intensify that power as well. So you're being really called to take your Plutonian energies, those depths, that power within you, and we're really being called to use that in a way that is playful, more playful, and not so serious. Whoops. Okay, in a play to be playful and not so serious. All right, so for messages, let's use the Chakra Wisdom Oracle and let's get an idea of what energies that your guides want you to know that are surfacing up with this Lionsgate portal. All right, we have impatience and we have growth, okay? So these are two really important cards. Impatience is associated with your throat chakra. Growth is associated with the heart chakra. So in looking at this, with these energies, you have an opportunity to take this Plutonian power with the energies of the Lionsgate portal and really grow exponentially, spiritually, abundantly, grow in your mindset and understanding of the world. Grow your roots, really plug into the earth, okay? Really plug into stability and security. And it's more important to do that, but not to be impatient about it. Like, allow it to grow and nurture and move. Be positive. Amplify this Plutonian energy for creativity and joy and happiness and fun and just be fun. And it's gonna help you grow exponentially. But don't be impatient with it, because if you get too impatient and you rush it, it doesn't allow those energies to fulfill you to the max. And we want that amplified power, right? So your guides are saying that you really have a chance. This is a huge growth period for you in ways that you can't possibly even fathom. And you have such amazing power within, amazing power of transformation within you. But you need to be really focused and really gearing that power and transformation in ways that make you lighter, light of spirit, light of heart, that make you joyful and happy, that move you toward things that you love to do, things that give you great enjoyment. You have to be carefree and childlike, and allow that energy to grow and develop in an amazingly massive way. And from that, even though it sounds like it means, oh, it's playful and childlike, and you know, I need to be an adult and I need to do this and this, you're going to get better growth from this period of just using this Plutonian energy, or I don't want to say the energy itself, not the underworld piece of it, but just pulling this from within, from the depths of your heart and soul, to pull this Plutonian energy in, and be carefree, lighthearted, joyful. Be creative, be fun, focus on that stuff. And it's actually going to be the trigger energy that moves you through growth so much faster than you could ever believe. But you need to savor it. Savor the fun. Don't be impatient. Quit trying to rush to get through whatever transformation you're going through. Don't rush it. Let it grow on its own, because as it starts to grow, it's going to grow faster, faster, faster. Like with this card here, you know, it shows the roots and the leaves and the stalks of the plant. The thing is that it takes time, the right kind of nutrients and the right kind of water, or the right amount of water and the right amount of sunlight and shade and things of that nature. It takes that for the roots to grow in a plant. But once the roots are established, the leaves, they'll just start to explode through the surface. And it's because of the green, the chlorophyll in them, because they're photosynthesizing. Sorry, I didn't mean to make this a science lesson, but this is what's coming out. Is that they're photosynthesizing, where the roots are reliant on other things on the outside. It's reliant on the environment and the elements within that and the input of other things. That's how the roots get established. But the leaves, nah. The leaves do it all on their own, because they can photosynthesize because of the chlorophyll within them that makes them green. They can photosynthesize with the sun, and they get glorious and beautiful, and they just, you know, and they'll explode through the earth. And the next thing you know, that you got fruits and vegetables and flowers and all of these glorious, beautiful things, because you've taken that inner Plutonic underworld energy, or that deep within energy that you have, and you focused on the creative piece. You're already grounded. Your guides say you're already grounded. You've done the work. You've done your shadow work. You're grounded. You're established. You have stability. Just don't be impatient. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride and move forward. But do it with joy and abundance and happiness and playfulness and being carefree. Being light of heart is going to get you the most growth at this phase in your journey. Okay? Let's see what other spirit animals are giving you energy and bringing it through. We have the bat. Whoops, that one flipped. And the beaver. All right. Bees. B is for bat, B is for beaver. What they're saying is just be. Okay, just be. Be who you are. Be who you want to be. Be playful. Be. Live in the moment. Enjoy it. Live in love. Let's get some more information about the bat. I love bats. Bats are not given enough credit for what they do. So bats are about letting go. Thank you, Spirit. See, they just come right in and tell you all about it. It's death, learning, and rebirth, right? So when you're out of balance, you refuse to let go of the past, and you continue to reminisce about the past. When you're in balance with the bat, you accept, you adapt, and you adjust. So you bring yourself into balance by watching the sunrise, okay? So this beautiful bat, and you know this idea about bats being blind, bats are not blind. Bats just have a higher development of sonar than they have. I mean, they have vision just like any other animal, but their sonar makes them so more efficient and effective with snagging insects and things like that, because that's mostly what they eat, unless they're fruit bats and things like that. But that sonar, it's just their added superpower. But they don't have the sonar because they don't have their other senses. All their other senses are intact. It's just the sonar is really cool. And it's a neat adaptation because it helps them. Mainly because they also tend to be nocturnal, right? And when you're nocturnal and you're flying in the dark, that sonar just pings off different things. It helps to echolocate them so that they know how to fly around, and they can still fly at speeds and everything else without bashing into a tree or the side of a skyscraper or something like that. So you've got a superpower going in there. Use your intuition. Know what's happening. Go with the flow. Let it go and just be. Just be. Play. Have fun. The beaver says that you're loyal, you're tireless, and that you're a hard worker. When you're in balance, you're happy, you have meaningful work. When you're out of balance, you feel useless and worn out. So to bring it in balance, you've got to do some selfless service. Now that doesn't mean, again, give it all away so that you wear yourself out. It means just share, enjoy, be around others. Just be, enjoy, live life, love. Let's get some more information. We're gonna pull some messages from your higher self. All right, guides, spirits, what for this lovely group number 2, what kind of information? And guess what? Ding, ding, ding. I'm telling you, if you don't believe this, if you don't believe the spirits are talking to you, look at this. Balance. It's what we were just talking about. Balance, balance, balance. Be in balance, okay? And that's another B for just be. What else, Spirit? What else do we have for group number 2? Success. You will be successful. Success comes from being. It doesn't come from overworking. It doesn't come from overgiving. It comes from being in balance. And so when you're in balance, when you have a healthy rest along with creativity and, and work, whatever it is that you're doing, because obviously there are things we have to do, right? Or things that we prefer to do or should do, but it's telling you to find a balance in that. If this whole idea of work hard, play hard, maybe not on the hard. Let it come to you. Let it flow. Just be. But make sure that you do get ample rest. Make sure that you stay connected, whether that's out in nature and even in this one, like looking at if it's looking at the night sky and the moon, if it's doing something creatively, if you paint, if you draw, if you sculpt, if you write, if you do music, whatever it is, you're being called to do those things that help you find balance within your heart and soul and mind, not just the body. So be. Okay, let's see from the Oracle of Light Activation. I think that's the name of that. Did I get that wrong? Hold on just one second. I want to make sure it's the Gateway of Light Activation Oracle from Kyle Gray. I like this one. It's beautiful. Okay, Spirit, what do you have? What message do you have for... Oh, they're telling me, nope, they're telling me to go to the, they want to throw you some tarot cards. Okay, let's go with it. This is the Tarot of Owls. All right, we have the Ace of Swords. The breakthrough, the burst of wisdom, the new beginning. What else, Spirit? And the Eight of Pentacles, self-mastery. So they're basically saying, as you be, as you enjoy life, as you have fun, as you stay lighthearted and have lightness of being, that brings the new beginning, and that brings you the self-mastery. And with self-mastery, it brings in the abundance. Not just the potential for monetary abundance, financial abundance, but abundance of self, abundance of joy, abundance of happiness. It brings you into this type of energy that makes you a much more well-rounded person who loves their life, loves their existence, knows that they're bringing joy and happiness to themselves and others. Start with yourself. That's what I told group 1. We have to start with ourselves. If we want to bring the frequency of love to the earth, We have to have the frequency of love within us first, right? And so joy and happiness and being present and being creative and those kinds of things, that's where it all starts. All right, final message, the halls of learning. So this says spirit guides, confirmation, and great lessons. So they're basically telling you that you have done a buku amount of work in the past to get prepared for this phase that's coming in with this portal tomorrow. But they also want to remind you that they are there and they're confirming for you, you have done the work, but now you have to just be. Just let go and be. Enjoy it, live it, love it. Don't wear yourself out. Don't overdo, overwork, none of that. You've learned those lessons already. Now is the time for you to learn how to amplify this energy of creativity, happiness, and joy. That's what's going to give the growth to the next phase of your life and give you greater meaning for life. I hope that there's some good messages in there for you. I hope that resonated with you. And I thank you so much for tuning in. It's always a pleasure to read. Thank you so very much. You can check out the dailies, the little dailies on Instagram at TOL_oracles. And I just have little quick minute ones on there every day. Thank you so much, Group 2. Go forth and be, but be with amplified power of creativity, joy, and love. All right, bye-bye. Group 3, welcome into your reading. You chose silver, and the charm is actually the sun. So the immediate message that's coming in from your guides is that silver, when we look at silver and gold, everybody focuses on gold because gold it's perpetually luminous. It's always shiny. It's always solid. It has, great value. But silver has a different kind of beauty. And that gold, the gold is really a lot like the sun, because the sun does, radiate that sort of golden light, that golden energy. Silver, we tend to think of as being a little lesser than, but the reality is that it's not lesser than, it's just different. With silver, it works with us. We have to do a little work. We've spent a little time doing some work to keep it polished and to keep it, to keep that deep luster that it has. But it's quiet and beautiful. It's serene. It's all of these wonderful things. And I think with the moon there, on the card, it sort of beckons to that moonlit night. It's more of the feminine energy where the sun tends to be reflective of masculine energy, or at least in terms of archetypes. But silver is never lesser than. Silver is lustrous, and silver is what creates mirrors so that we get reflection and we see ourselves. And that is the nature of feminine energy, is to be reflective, not just to preen and shine, but to be reflective, to shine and be beautiful and lustrous, and at the same time be able to take information with it through intuition and awareness, being able to see how that energy gets projected and then reflected back from the world around. And Spirit's reminding you that your intuition and your reflectiveness shows how much you've learned through your journey of shadow work and work within your soul, that you are still lustrous and you still glow, and that work is really paid off because you are luminous. The word luminous, it kind of a lumen is how we measure the amount of light energy that exists. And so when we look at that, with that, your inner light shines out, and is reflected. You send it out into the universe. And by sending that beautiful light, that beautiful, subtle, feminine light out into the world, it gets reflected in others. It's the energy that accepts and trying to think of the word. Come on, Spirit, help me out. It's an energy that's very accepting, but it's also an energy that's easily absorbed by others. And in talking about feminine energy, I'm not talking about females or a feminine, if you want to look at a feminine pronoun or something like that. It has nothing to do with pronouns. This is purely energy. We all have more feminine related energies and masculine related energies. But the feminine energy is about love and compassion and sharing and caring and nurturing. It's this beautiful fluidity that when we send it out to others, it's easy for others to pick up. And as we treat others with compassion, just like we treat ourselves with compassion, then they begin to see that reflection and understand it so that they can begin to transform into that as well. So with this, silver is really the energy that is going to make it easier for others who are less familiar with these type of understandings or shadow work or growth phase. It's much easier for others to reflect and to learn to build, because it comes in the vibration of love, right? And I don't mean love like romantic love. I mean the divine love. It comes with the vibration of love, not emotion, but vibration, right? It's this soft, subtle thing. It's not threatening, so that others can reflect it back, and that creates the change within them. Eventually, as you continue to do that, you become more and more robust, and then you will shine like the gold of the solar plexus. But this is your instinct. This is your subtlety, and it's a confident subtlety as well. All right, let's see chakra-wise what your guides want you to know as well. What other messages in terms of chakra influences? We have gratitude. And what else? And then there's workaholic, okay? So, you're being called in to remember that working within this lustrous, luminous silver energy, the reflective energy, is you absolutely need to remember and be grateful, live in gratitude, because as you do that, it's just going to transcend and it's going to reflect that out to others. At the same time, you're also being asked to look in the mirror deeply at yourself and see if you tend to be an workaholic or an overworker or an overgiver or an over anything. This is coming into balance. This is about coming into balance. And you know, group two's reading was really about balance. That was the message that came in over and over and over again. But there's some balance with this as well. And I think that when we see the sun charm with the moon here, that again shows us a balance of that masculine and feminine energies, or a balance of those archetypal energies within us. And so you're being asked here to remember to take a deep look in the mirror at yourself and at your own behaviors. And are you overdoing? Are you overworking, overgiving, over anything? And are you really living in that positive mindset of gratefulness, of gratitude for the things that you do have? there's more balance to be had here as well. Let's see what other animal guides are coming in for you guys. Spirits, can you tell us what other animal spirits would be good for this group? Ah, guess what? You got the bat as well. So did group 2. This is the bat. We'll talk about the bat in a minute. What else is important for this group? The unicorn. Well, you can't get much happier than the unicorn, right? With bat energy, one of the big messages in the last group coming through was that you needed to let go and be, just be, right? We see this moon, you see the moon, the moon, the moon. The moon is here. Your feminine energy is very pronounced, okay? And that's wonderful. It's important because that's what's going to drive you forward. With the bat too, is that the bat is able to navigate because they navigate successfully at night because they have that wonderful ability that's given to them by their echolocation skills, or by their sonar, if you want to call it sonar. It's not because they don't have good vision. That's a myth. The myth that bats' senses are perfectly normal, just like every other being on this earth that has sensory organs, right? But bats have the added advantage because they fly at night in the dark, in dream time, if you want to think of it as dream time, because they're moving through and the glow of the moon is so subtle for them. That echolocation ability, that sonar ability just pings off different things in the universe and allows them to understand where they are in space, that they're not, it keeps them from running into a tree or running into the side of a building. And you're really being called to use that intuitive ability within you. We see a lot of purple here. That's crown chakra, right? Blue is throat. But we're seeing with this bat and these moon energies is that your feminine energy, the feminine flow of subtlety and warmth and kindness and compassion, that is actually moving you forward. And staying in gratitude for that, like, don't fight that energy. Don't fight the energy, okay? Because you were always meant to have both of those energies in balance. And you need to stay in the gratitude and the movement of that subtle joy and compassion that comes forth. There's a reason there's a heart on this. It's being in that vibration of love. Things grow when we're in that vibration of love. This is very similar to the second reading, by the way. But you've got to really be aware. You've got to take a look at yourself in the mirror, reflection. Look at your reflection and ask yourself if you're overworking or if you're overdoing or over something, because that's where this message is different. There's something that you might be overdoing that's holding back this ability to flow and keep moving forward subtly in this beautiful divine feminine energy. With the unicorn, it's about reconnecting to your higher wisdom and divinity. So we're really looking at your intuitiveness, your third eye. There's no wonder that this crown chakra card is coming up, because that's about connecting with the divine as well. With the unicorn, the first statement that the author makes in the book is, it's difficult to see, hear, or think of a unicorn without immediately questioning if it's real. Did they ever exist? Perhaps long, long ago. And then the mind answers maybe, or it could be, or no way. This very contemplative question explains our relationship with divinity and encapsulates our wavering belief in the unicorn. We wonder what divinity is. We wonder where our intuition comes from and if we can really trust it. We think about a higher power and our mind hesitates between yes, no, and maybe. Is it male or female? Does it have a name? Is it just a feeling? The unicorn card appears and wakes us up to curiosity about the higher self and the divine. It's a card of questioning, exploring, and contemplating the inexplicable. That's a very powerful message, group 3. You're really asked to go into this, into your sort of divine, watery image, imaginings, and really look at your dreams, look at your visions, at your knowingness. That's what's being reflected back to you too. And it's really important to use that part of you that you're not necessarily sure of. You need to learn to trust it as much as you learn to trust working and the tangible. Because this one's being overdone. You're overworking and you don't want to do it. You don't want to overwork at this process either. Like, don't try to force it either. That's another message that just popped in. Don't try to force this happening either. It's another message of letting go and going with the flow and just being in this energy, this fluid energy that comes from silver, that comes with gratitude, that comes with the magic of the unicorn and with the beautiful lunar light. It's subtle. It's awareness. It is a space where we tap in and we pick up things subtly, just like the reflection in a mirror, right? That's really pretty. It's really beautiful. So you're really being called. For some of you, I'm also getting that if you might try scrying with a black mirror, that may be a way for you to start developing some intuition and some better abilities to really see or really understand what you're being given from the divine, what information you're being given from the divine. For others of you, the dreamscape is really important. So dream journaling, dream awareness, really honing in on what's coming to you during sleep time. Because some of you might be astral traveling too, okay? All right, let's see what the higher self has to say. You're on the right path. So that's confirmation from spirit right there. You're on the right path. You know exactly where you're going, you're following it, and you're doing it. And then we have vision, okay? Maintain your vision. So this is two things. For some of you, this is about stay focused on the big picture, on what you're here to do, on this right path. Just stay focused on what you're doing and go with the flow and allow it to manifest the way it was meant to. For some of you, is that your third eye, this seeing, this ability to see from spirit, your third eye is really coming in, but you cannot force it. You have to just go with the flow, and that's what's going to allow you, as you relax and you go in the softer silver type of receptive energy, of reflective energy, it's going to open you up to those skills in a much more powerful way. Okay? Not forcing it, this is not something that you can make a list and do step 1, step 2. You can't do it that way. Okay? In fact, that'll shut you down. You've got to get out of the thinking mind and you have to get into the subtle, reflective, fluid mind. And that's where it's going to come in. So your vision is there. For those of you where it's a third eye ability that's going to intensify or grow, develop, or even pop in, you're being guided, that you're on the right path. Everything that you've done so far has brought you to this point to allow this portal energy from the Lion's Gate to really propel you into your next phase of your existence and your beingness, right? But you have to allow it and do it by staying in the subtle energies. Go with the flow, let go and allow it to come in Allow it to be received. All right, the Tower of the Owls. Spirit, tell us what else we need to know. We have the Seven of Wands. So the Seven of Wands in this particular deck, you notice that the owl is fighting off those other wands. He's having to defend himself. Don't get defensive about where you are or what you're doing. Don't feel like you have to combat it, you know? Because sometimes when we can't control things, and this message is definitely about letting go of control, for sure. And so sometimes if that gets overwhelming or we get a little nervous about it or a little fearful, then we start to get defensive, and then we start to get, you know, downright aggressive with it. And we don't want to do that. So it's really cautioning you to stay in the flow and the subtlety of the silver imagery and the energy of the moon, okay? And not to get defensive about stuff. Just allow to come in. You are protected, okay? You are protected. The angels have your back. They're with you, or your spirit team. Could be an ancestor for many of you. Could be some ascended masters helping you out. And you got the King of Cups. So did Group 1. This is about finding emotional mastery. Realizing being in that flow of the frequency of divine love, and being in the flow of love. And if you stay in that frequency of love, that is the greatest positive energy force that we have in this universe. And if you do that and stay in that, it's going to allow you to receive these lovely skills and gifts that are coming in for you. And your spirit guides, they really love you too. They really have your back, even if you don't think so. Okay. What's the final message that we have with the Gateway of Light activation in honor of this 8-8 portal? Spirits, what do we have for group? Now, they want you to have 2 cards. You're the first group to get 2. So let me slide these out a little bit. You have Seraphim's Gateway. So this is voice activation, angelic attunement, and divine support. So that's exactly what we were just talking about. And then we also have the inner earth, the base chakra, strength and security, laying the foundations. So the other thing I'm getting with this is about the balance of the heavenly energies and the earthly energies, heaven and earth. Gosh, the song that's coming to me is Heaven and Earth by Lou Gramm. I think it's actually, I don't remember if that's the name of the actual song, but it's, you know, if heaven and earth collide tonight, we'll be all alone in a different light, right? That's what they want you to know. It's the groundingness, the strength that you get from being grounded and being stable. You have stability. You have done the work. You don't have to keep working on this shadow stuff anymore. You've got your grounding. You're stable. You're glowing from within. You're secure and you're stable. It's now about activating these higher chakras and allowing yourself to receive the gifts you were always meant to have. That's pretty amazing, actually. A lot of us are in this place right now, learning to realize that we don't have to work hard to be who we want to be or to get what we really think we deserve. It's about being, letting go, being in the vibration, the high vibration of love and joy and happiness. By doing that, by staying focused on the positive stuff, it opens us up vibrationally, energetically. It opens up our auric field and allows us to receive more energy from the universe, more energy from the other dimensions and the spirit teams. It makes us even more amazing, more glow. It's like this picture here on Seraphim's Gateway. You know, and with voice activation, speak it into being. The angels have you. You have divine support for this. You are on the right path. You have to let go and receive. Stay high. Your only work is to stay in high vibration. So cut out the negative, the pessimism and then negative thoughts and that kind of thing. Just cut that stuff out. You've done the work. You're stable. You're secure. You have what you need to be safe, to be secure, to be stable. What's happening for you at this 8-8 portal is that these energies are coming in from the cosmos. You need to open up, live in joy, live in gratitude, live in positivity, and have that vibration of love so that you can receive this amazing energy upgrade that's coming for you, because it's going to change your whole being, your beingness. It's going to change your life. You got to trust it. It's hard to do, but you got to do it. You got to trust it. It's coming in. That's pretty amazing. This is a really powerful, powerful reading. It's a powerful reading. I think they want me to pull you one more spirit animal. Okay, spirit, what's this other spirit animal that they need? This starfish. The beautiful starfish. Starfish are graceful and they flow through the water and they look so delicate and so beautiful. But those suckers underneath their bodies are strong. They can rip open a shell. You've got your underlying strength. Go with the flow in the waters of the universal energies. Go with the flow. Float. Be a star. You are a star. Your wishes are coming in. In the tarot, the star card is really about hopes and dreams and wishes and healing. You've done the healing part. This is about letting the hopes and the dreams and the wishes come in, by just being a star and going with the flow. Group 3, this is amazing, amazing information. Thank you to your guides for sending that information for all of us. I wish you love and peace, and more importantly, I wish you the power to just let go and go with the flow, because it's a hard thing to do, but you can do it. We know that you can, right? And thank you so much for tuning in. Those energies, don't be alarmed if that energy that comes in tomorrow just blasts you wide open, because if you're ready to, if you'll let yourself go and receive it, that's exactly what it's going to do. It's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your auric field in a good way. Thank you so much for joining in. Have a blessed and beautiful day. Bye-bye.